I have a question for you. If you could choose any superpower, anyone in the world, what would it be? I think it's fair to say that as a mum, you wish you had a whole range of superpowers. But the truth is, you do already. Mums are superheroes. And this week's episode is released on the week of Mother's Day in the UK. So today we are celebrating all the mums out there and acknowledging how truly immense they really are. Welcome to the Happy Thriving Mums podcast, the show that talks about the simple actions busy mums like you can take to prioritise your own health, happiness and fitness. And it doesn't stop there. This show also includes amazing stories from remarkable women who help others to be the best version of themselves. Because if you feel great, you thrive, and so does your family. So, if you're ready to overcome mum guilt, manage overwhelm, feel and look your best, and create a happier, more balanced life for yourself and your family, this podcast is for you. Welcome to this week's episode. So happy Mother's Day to all the UK mums out there this week who will hopefully be pampered, celebrated and spoiled on Sunday. And those of you that celebrate Mother's Day at a different time of the year, this is just a great episode to kind of celebrate the wonders that mothers actually are. So I don't know about you, but my perfect Mother's Day would involve a range of different things. I would love to have a lie-in to start with and be left alone for a little while. I'd like a really nice fancy breakfast, like a treat one with some smoked salmon, some nice eggs, a bit of avocado on the side, followed by some kind of almond croissant and a lovely cup of coffee. I would love on the day for somebody else to be cooking the lunch, then going out for a nice walk with the kids and my husband with no moaning, no arguments, no I don't want to go, or having trouble getting shoes on, all of that thing. I just want it all to go smoothly, calmly, that I can feel really relaxed and everything just seems really easy. A day of suspended reality, I think, is a nice way of looking at it, because I know deep down that my day will probably be fairly chaotic, but with some lovely things thrown in for good measure. And I think that's kind of like every day is a bit chaotic, but there are some lovely magic moments that shine throughout it. I think one thing I will definitely not be doing on Mother's Day this year is I am going to literally give myself the day off. No jobs, no laundry, no cleaning up after anyone else. I am just going to say I'm not doing that just for today and just have a nice bit of a rest. So that would kind of be my ideal Mother's Day. But how about you? If you could think about your ideal day as a mother on Mother's Day, what would you and wouldn't you do? What would you get your kids to do for you? How would you make it pan out? It's great to dream. I mean, I don't know, maybe in a proper dream world, I might go big and ask for a spa day somewhere. That would be amazing. But actually, it's all about being around the people that you love. And I feel very lucky that I can still celebrate my mum on Mother's Day too. But I do find it quite strange sometimes having that balance between when you've got your own kids and being a mum yourself on Mother's Day, but also wanting to see your mum on Mother's Day and treating her and celebrating her. I can find it's a bit kind of tricky sometimes, because you want to enjoy it in all those senses. So working that out can be a little bit of a logistical situation. But I think with my mum, I'll say to her, I'll come and see her on Mother's Day, but then I'll try and do something with her, like take her out for lunch or do something different. Also, my mum is still working and she works on Sundays quite frequently. She's some kind of Wonder Woman. So on the day itself, I think she is actually working this year. So getting to see her, I probably won't. So I'm going to have to ask my dad to step in and get her a cup of tea in bed, which I know she loves, make her a nice breakfast, and he can kind of pamper her for that day. It'll work out, it'll be fine. But yeah, it's great. And I have really strong memories of Mother's Day as a child and trying to make it special for my mum, because I think it's a great thing to do. And I think whilst sometimes cynically, people can see this as another kind of day which has been taken over by card companies to try and promote extra spending or something like that. Actually, celebrating other people is incredible, and it is a fantastic thing to do, and you can do it in so many ways. And I remember kind of being at home in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up with my sisters and thinking about what we would do on the day to kind of look after mum and give her a little bit of a day off. Obviously, we did not have the likes of Netflix and Amazon Prime and all of these things where someone could just sit and literally binge watch something all day. It was the old 4 channels on your TV. So if there was something on, you had to be on the sofa at that time on that day in order to see it. I know I have told this story to my children, and they are literally flabbergasted by the fact that they couldn't just watch what they wanted at a split second's notice. They found it so strange to think that children's TV was only on between the hours of 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And sorry, it was 5:30, because 5:30 was neighbours' time. You know what I mean, if you're from the same age, or if you're of the same age as me. And then that was it for the day, all done, dusted. You had to wait a whole another day before seeing any of your likes of Biker Grove or that kind of thing. So going back to these times, I know that on Mother's Day for my mum, she always requested breakfast in bed. That was like her go-to. So me and my sister would get up, we'd creep downstairs, we'd make her a cup of tea, get her cereal. She was hardcore into Frosties. That was her daily breakfast for literally my whole childhood. And then we would take it up to her on a tray. Sometimes we'd like get some flowers, give them to those, but it was always going to be a homemade card, and probably more often than not just a really great big cuddle. But sometimes as a mum, that is actually what you look forward to the most, and actually all you really want on Mother's Day. So other things we tried to do were we tried to make her a roast dinner, obviously when we were a little bit older, and we tried to we thought it'd be quite fun to pretend that we were like the waitresses of a restaurant and that we would give her this amazing service, which was probably quite painful, but we wanted her to have a rest and we wanted her to have a nice day. And I'm not sure how effective we were at giving her this rest, because I don't know if you find the same, but sometimes with my children, when they go and try and help with something, it ends up being more work to kind of like eliminate the mess created through the helping. But the hearts are in the right place, and you've got to applaud, and they've got to learn and go through these processes of this messy middle in trying to achieve and master these skills. So I don't know how good we were at pampering my mum on Mother's Day. We tried really hard. I think she quite enjoyed it. And hey, you can only do your best. In all of life, you can only do your best. I still think of my mum though as this kind of Wonder Woman, and I feel so lucky that I get on with her really well and we still see each other very regularly. And I just think about what I have learned from her. And I've learnt so much from her about all kinds of things, from being a mum to working to just kind of like life and how to treat other people. My mum is super patient and she's really kind. And she is one of these people that just seems to always see the best in people. And this has always amazed me, because I think as you grow up, you know you like some people and you know you dislike some people a little bit more or less. And she always just sees people at face value. That is kind of one of the things that she's always said to me. She goes, I just see people at face value. She always gives them the benefit of the doubt. And actually, I think that this is probably one of my mum's best superpowers. She's got many superpowers, but I think this one has actually held her in such good stead as the amazing person that she is. Because whenever I talk to other people who know my mum, I've never met anybody who does not like her. She's just really liked by a whole range of different people, from my friends to her friends to just kind of like casual acquaintances that she's met over time. And she remembers people and she remembers things about them and stories about them. So I think when she talks to them, she's so good at relating to them that I think that's such a great skill that I have kind of watched her do and tried to acquire and use in my life, because it's that kind of that thing that if you talk to people and make them feel important and valued and that you know things about them, people respond so well to you. And I think that is a great life lesson to kind of hold close all the time. So thinking about this idea of superpowers, if you could choose a superpower, what would your superpower be? I think when I think about this, there's a whole range that I would actually love. It's not just one. But when I asked my Instagram followers, I was given a varied list, but a couple which came up quite frequently was the power of teleportation. So being able to get from one place to another relatively quickly and kind of not have to be sitting in a car for a long amount of time, or not have to be commuting on a train, just kind of like almost walking through this magic portal and arriving somewhere else. I mean, that would be absolutely incredible. Another one which was mentioned was just having super speed. So in my head, I always think of super speed as just like running really, really fast. But actually, imagine if you could just do a whole range of tasks really, really quickly instead or as well. So, for example, I don't know about you, but putting away the washing after it's all dried seems to take me about 3 days. So, if I could just do that in a split second, that would be incredible. Or just making dinner and it's like all done within a couple of minutes rather than having to go through the process of chopping and cutting and cooking and baking and all of those things. Was when you have the time to do that, I love cooking and I think it's such a brilliant thing to do. But often your children want their dinner about 3 hours ago and you just can't do it quick enough. So to do kind of tasks like that at super speed, again, I think that was a great idea, and thank you to those of you that suggested that. But this further got me thinking, and it got me thinking about mums and how actually every single mum, every single one of you out there has a whole array of superpowers. Collectively, I think if mums got together and formed some kind of superhero group, they would go up against the likes of the Avengers and they would absolutely smash them down. I think the inner powers of the mum is phenomenal. And realistically, I think if this army of mums got together, all problems of the world could be solved locally or globally, and this collective force of parenting would just be so dominant that I think everything would just be much, much easier. However, obviously we all have different roles, different jobs, and a lot of us don't actually want to necessarily go out and kind of put all the world to right. Let's face it, that would take some time. So we focus on our worlds and helping those in our world to have the best time possible. And mums are absolutely amazing at this. Although saying this, I do feel sometimes that every superhero has their own kryptonite, don't they? Don't you think? We know that sometimes as a mum, without warning, things can come up and get in the way of allowing us to show up as the best version of ourselves. And it can be very challenging. For my clients and the people that I work with, the number one thing that seems to be the kryptonite of mums is mum guilt. Not allowing themselves grace and the time needed to help prioritise themselves and their own needs. And I know that I am so guilty of this. I think sometimes there's things that I know I need to do for myself or I want to do for myself, but I put them off in order to do something for one of my children or around the house or at work. And I just forget to prioritise myself. I try so hard and I really, really am an advocate for doing this. And actually I'm so much better because I force myself to exercise, to eat well. I look after myself as best I can because I have learned that if I do this, then I am a better person for everybody else. But sometimes it does go by the wayside, and that's why it's so important to be mindful of what we are doing. I mean, how often have you put off something as simple as just like going to the toilet when you really need it because somebody has asked you something, or you've forgotten that you went to go and put something in the washing machine and now it needs taking out, or whatever it is, and you put these things off. But it's so important to make sure that you do the things for yourself in order for you to thrive. And just remember that giving yourself this little gift is essential, because if you do not look after yourself, you can burn out, and that is no good for anyone. And if you would like a bit of help in prioritising yourself, I would really love to help you. My 4-week Happy Thriving Mum programme is a great starting point to help you reclaim yourself. Or if you want a bit more guiding and a bit more one-to-one help, I have got my personal training programme where I work with my clients to improve overall fitness, diet, and to implement a whole range of healthy habits that fit into your life with ease. So if you're interested in any of those things, there are information in the show notes. Send me a message. I would love to work with you. So putting our kryptonites aside, I decided to research the different superpowers that some superheroes have and then think about how these apply to mums, because they do in so many ways. So I looked at a range of different superheroes. So there's like Thor, who's got super strength and lightning manipulation. Wonder Woman, again, super strength, flight, she can fight, and she's also immortal. I looked at Miss Marvel, who can shapeshift, and also Batgirl. Did you know there was a Batgirl? She's apparently a master detective. So I thought about these and I looked through a whole range. I'm not going to go through this massive list that I read through, but I have come up with the top 5 superpowers that I think all mums possess. Okay, so in no particular order. The first superpower that I think all mums have is super hearing. They can hear things at the drop of a pin. Something which happens in a room or upstairs whilst you're downstairs, immediately it's like these bat ears that you've got. It can be heard. Also, it's kind of like that idea in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, you hear that nighttime tiptoeing. I can hear it from a mile off. Then all of a sudden, I open my eyes and my son is right in front of me. He does this quite often at the moment. Or you can really hear that cupboard door gently, quietly opening, knowing that a child is stealing a snack out of the cupboard, or in my case, my husband is looking for chocolate in the cupboard. You can hear it all a mile off. So I think that is one of the first superpowers that mums have, super hearing. The second superpower that I think all mums have is super strength. And I think super strength can come in twofold here, emotionally and physically. So all mums have the ability to carry 10 million things at once, whether it's sports kit, whether it's shopping, whether it's things in the kitchen, whether it's picking up a child in a moment of danger. I mean, I've heard a story about, I don't know if this is true. It could be true, I'm not sure. But a story about this kind of like inner mum strength where a child, I think something awful happened, got hit by a car or something, and she somehow managed to move this car away from the child to try and like rescue them. I don't know if you've heard stories like this, but I can actually well imagine it. I can think there's like this inner maternal power that can force this through. Another way that I think we are super strong is emotionally. I think as a mum, sometimes you just have to hold it all together, because when your child is falling apart for whatever reason, they've had a terrible day or something's happened to them, it often doesn't help that you in that moment are hit with some kind of like overriding emotion. I think mums are really, really good at kind of like swallowing it down at that moment. And I'm not saying forever, because I do think it's really important for us to realize how we're feeling, acknowledge it, deal with it as well, and then move on. But sometimes it can be appropriate to be emotionally strong in order to help others in your family thrive, especially. And I think mums are absolutely amazing at doing that. So my second superpower was super strength. The third superpower that I think all mums possess is the power to help with super healing. Mums are so often the go-to person when your child is feeling sad or they've got hurt or something's happened to them, and you can help them feel better with magic cream, magic water, a snack, or the most powerful of all super healing things, a mum cuddle. Mummy cuddles are just the best, and I think that is what kids quite often need sometimes when they're just feeling a little bit wonky, or when something has happened and there is reason behind it. I mean, there's reason behind everything, isn't there? We all know that the way children behave is down to experiences and sometimes things that they just can't process because they are learning along this way, along their journey. So super mums with their super healing powers can really help to make everything feel better, whether completely better or just a little bit better. It is true, pure mum magic. My fourth superpower that all mums possess is the ability to be a master detective. How many times have your children come to you and said, I have lost something, and immediately you can tell them where it is, you know where it is, or you can help them work out the problem of where they've left it, or they are wondering what they need to do in a given situation and you're able to help them and drive them towards kind of like answers. You are able to piece together all these tiny little clues that for some reason nobody else can, and you can help them solve this problem. It's quite incredible. So, superpower number 4, master detective. And my final superpower that I think all mums possess is shape shifting. Think about your day. From the moment you get up to the moment that you go to bed. As a mum, how many different roles have you gone through in that day? I bet it's easily at least 10. Whether it's some kind of logistical director, getting your children from A to B to C through school and sports clubs and play dates and back home again for dinner. You have dreamt up this logistical plan and followed it. You are probably head chef maybe in your house, or maybe your partner is, but you've done cooking. You have definitely made some kind of food throughout the day. You are chief planner. You have looked at the calendar. You have added, you have amended, you have changed. You have got out that pen and scribbled it out, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your wall. You have been that chief planner. You have been a cheerleader. Your children have done something and you have cheered them on and congratulated them and given them a big cuddle when they've had some success and they are sharing something that they've done with you that you're really proud of. Maybe you have a partner and you are their wife or girlfriend or whoever you might be. You are taking on that role as well. But then on top of that, maybe you're working, and I could go on. Basically, you are shape-shifting all the time between all these different roles that you have on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And it is incredible that you can do all those things. And even if at times you feel like it's hard or you haven't done something well, if you would just sit and think for 1 minute, even 30 seconds, what you have achieved during the day, every tiny little thing that you have done, you add that up, you have worked incredibly hard and made magic happen on a daily basis. So I think shape-shifting and the ability to do that is an amazing superpower that all mums possess. I think that mums do all of these things without even thinking. I think sometimes you don't really appreciate just how wonderful you are. You are amazing for this. Your kids, despite how it feels sometimes, are really in awe of you. So this Mother's Day, I really want you to give yourself the recognition that you deserve. Acknowledge that although being a mum can be really tough sometimes, you are doing a great job. You are showing up every single day and you deserve to recognize just how amazing you are. So if you are celebrating Mother's Day this week, I have 3 ideas for you to consider doing. And remember, you don't have to do them all, but they're just some things to help you enjoy the moment and be truly present and just think, hey, I am a great person and I'm doing a great job. So firstly, think about what your kryptonite is as a mum. And is there anything you can do about it? So if there's something that you find gets you down, whether regularly or just at the moment, just take a couple of minutes to think, is there anything small and easy that I can change or do a little bit differently to help make my day a little bit better and help make me feel a better version of myself and as good as I possibly can? So firstly, if there is something, as I said, think about what your kryptonite is at the moment, and is there anything small that you can change that might make it better? For example, it could just be something small like asking for help. If you have got a really busy day and you know that you've got to get the kids' PE kit ready for tomorrow, but you don't have the time, ask someone else at home if they could just put the washing on for you. It's something tiny, but it takes off the pressure and the overwhelm. So that's just a small example of a way that you could do that. Idea number 2, on Mother's Day, allow everybody around you to do everything for you for this one day. I am not very good at letting go. I think sometimes I can be a little bit of a control freak and like to kind of be doing everything to keep all the plates spinning. But actually, this isn't so good. And I know I need to let go a little bit more and give responsibility over to others. And especially now the kids are getting bigger, this is getting a little bit easier. So on this Mother's Day, be relentless. Have a rest. Say, I'm not doing anything, I'm not lifting a fingertip, I'm having a day off. Please, can you get me this, that, and the other? And see what happens. I think it would actually be really fun. And actually, it's a nice change. It's good to have a change. So that was the second idea. Let everyone around you do everything on Mother's Day, just for one day. And my final idea for you, celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. You can use these journal prompts to help reflect on your journey as a mum and just how fabulous you are. So think about these 3 things. What ways are you most proud of in regards to how you show up as a mum? Secondly, what is the most surprising thing motherhood has taught you? And finally, what do your children love about you the most? So just sit and either write about these things or think about these things, and don't think small. Think big and bold and unapologetically about how brilliant you are. Celebrate yourself because you are great. I hope that you have enjoyed listening to this episode, and I hope that on Mother's Day you take a chance to think about any of these things, whether it's your kryptonite, whether it's letting everybody do things for you for one day only, or you just celebrate yourself. Pop the bubbly or have a cup of tea and really think, I'm doing a great job, because I know that you are.